Hey guys, I'm JCR, JC4R, back during the day in the silver of Pokemon, and we are on Cyanwood. 500 years of tradition, Cyanwood City Pharmacy. Alright, so, I did a bit of reading, but a lot of it was just like, something worrying you. The lighthouse Pokemon is in trouble. I got it. This ought to do the trick. And then you get the secret potion. I know that the secret potion actually appears in, I want to say, a different game as like an Easter egg. But, yeah, for the most part, a lot of the digging I did wasn't too spectacular. Like, the most interesting thing I can say is that this area right here was not exactly here from the beginning. Now, if this is what I think it is, I'm going to set Pokemon with you. How about a photo? I believe on the 3DS you cannot hit yes, they straight up disabled it, because this is a discontinued feature. Which photograph? Photograph Hoptart. I like Hoptart. And then it has the Game Boy printer, but that doesn't really exist anymore. So they just disabled the ability to do it. But yeah, there you go. That's a thing. What else? Is there anything else noteworthy in here? Because I don't think there is. You came from Olivine. Do you remember the 4 islands along the way? 4 islands, or Whirl Islands. I heard that you can only see it if you have a silver wing. Must have the same scent as the creature. Yeah. But yeah, no, this area was not originally in, or planned to be. So the pharmacy was actually supposed to be Ecruteak, but then they changed it and then made this. It's theorized that this was added as like the last thing in the game. And we're doing the little gym here. There's Yoshi, his name is. It's basically a carbon copy of, what do you call it? The fucking fighting dojo in Saffron City. Like, literally same setup and everything. But Hoptart's going to be getting a lot of the attention for the moment, at least until it levels up, then I'll switch to someone else. Stonesour is going to be our shortage. But yeah, that was the most interesting thing, was that, like, there's a building in Olivine that is left out. It's in the game's code, but they removed it from the game. It's talking about, a pharmacy in Ecruteak. So, I guess they planned for it, and they just said, nah, fuck that. They don't want us to go back and forth, I guess. I don't know. But there was planned to be that. And I don't remember what the evidence was to support this, but it was also planned that Ecruteak was going to have the magnet train instead of Goldenrod. So I guess they had bigger plans in mind for Ecruteak, and then they just said, nah. I guess, I don't know, I wouldn't exactly say Ecruteak doesn't have anything going for it, because it's got the 2 towers, but maybe the 2 towers weren't meant to be there, or maybe they, switched things around, but yeah. And the other bit, I guess that's interesting, I think it was, I don't remember the name of the island. I'm really bad at the islands as far as Gen 3, but the island in Gen 3 is literally located in the exact same kind of setup as Cyanwood here. And they both house fighting gym leaders, which is also kind of funny too. And I want to say it's supposed to be based off of something super Japanese, but I don't quite remember what. I don't know, but yeah, Kanto and Johto are based off, well, maybe not carbon copy, but pretty damn close. Kanto and Johto are based off of Japan itself, and I think like Kanto stands for something like along the east. Like it wasn't something along the east, it just something east. And then I guess they took that and they're like, well, hey, let's just put Johto. So yeah, Kanto and Johto are straight up connected. But also look at the levels of these guys real quick that I'm fighting. Now imagine we were fighting these level 25 guys after we finished Ecruteak, before anyone was even a level 25. They were all 24s. And then we level up, and then we go to the Rocket Hideout to fight some dudes that are like level 16. So yeah, like I deliberately did it like this because it just seemed more reasonable. And even though these guys are 25, the gym leaders got stronger Pokemon than we do, so it's not exactly like we're gonna be conquering it easily, because I struggled even then, and I just think I'm gonna have a reasonable time now. Well, I guess we can just go lead. I was thinking about Stone Sour, but I was like, I don't know, that could be that risk I take that doesn't pay off. In reality, I should have saved Hop-Tart for Chuck himself, which he's supposed to be named after Chuck Norris, because I already did Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee with Hitmonchan and Hitmonlee, which, you know, that's a well-known fact right there. That dude's name is Knob. What a knob! That means penis. Alright, let's see if we can, how can we say this? If we can have Hotshot survive. Although, here's another thing. Upon looking at my research and all that, I was looking at a lot of the screenshots for Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and I was like, damn, that game looks so good. Like, art stylish. I'm not exactly the biggest fan of the remade music, but it really, really got me wanting to play Heart Gold, Soul Silver, just because I think it would be so much fun and, like, really cool to do it. So even though I'm LPing Silver now, maybe one day, probably not LP, but maybe, I don't know, maybe if I'm crazy. Because, I mean, if I'm crazy enough to do Red, which people want me to do, I mean, maybe I'll do Heart Gold, Soul Silver. But I was thinking just stream it. The only downside of streaming it is that, you know, there's not going to be any, like, super cool editing, fast forwarding bullshit. You gotta sit with me through it. But I think it would be cool, especially because I'm making it a goal to try and get 3DS capture, and I'd also trying to make it a goal so I can improve my desktop's like processor and capabilities of just being more powerful. Mostly because I really want a Hat in Time, and then another part's like, well, what harm can really come of upgrading and making your computer more powerful? Because I can't think of any. Like, I don't know a negative side effect. Cool, now my thing can edit easier. Now my thing can fucking run Photoshop better or something like that. Like, I can only see positives and absolutely no negatives. So I'm thinking on going for it. The only thing is, when I was talking to the dude who, the guy who would be upgrading it for me, he's like, yeah, it's gonna cost a few $1,000s. I'm like, well, shit. So I don't know, little bits at a time. Wah! So you've come this far. Let me tell you, I'm tough. My Pokemon will crush stones and shatter bones. Watch this. There, scared now, are you? What? It has nothing to do with Pokemon. That's true. Come on, we shall do battle. Only has 2. Alright, but let's see what levels are. Alright, 27? That's not as bad. I could have swore one of them was like, I thought it was like 29 or something. Alright, make sure you edit that one out, because there was like a hair on the... I don't even know if I would consider it as a pop filter. It's like a little cloth thing that covers up the microphone. So, I mean, it sort of is, I guess. But, yeah, there's a hair on that. I don't want to pull that off. That's the one thing I detest about this microphone is you can hear me breathe. That's still, like, I put my 2 fingers between my mouth and the microphone. That's about what it was when I was using Logitech's nonsense. So it should be about that distance, but it still feels like there's problems with it just being a bit too sensitive, and I'm not exactly crazy about that. I did Surf just in case he healed, which I suppose I should have been doing Surf this entire time, but whatever. Because Surf would be well, I don't know. Actually, yeah, I think damage calculation-wise, Surf would be doing more. Because it's 95 power, or doing like, I think it's 1.5 times for stab. That's probably Wrath. Alright, well, we're gonna let Pokeslow do as much as he can, and then we'll switch out to Lita, and Lita will knock out. There you go, level 30, I wasn't crazy. Dynamic Punch, don't do that. Alright, so that's relevant. What I'm about to say is relevant to a degree. I fucking loved the third Pokemon movie. Like, especially, what was that little girl? Molly Hale, when they're going into her castle and stuff, and she's just got, like, all these crazy powers. And Teddiursa, Dynamic Punch! And then it knocks the fuck out of Onix, and just, it was so cool. The visuals on that I thought were really good, too. I also loved the music they put in there was fantastic as well. I love the bit where, like, she's fighting Misty, and then, like, this huge tidal wave comes in, and she's just not even fazed by it. That's right, none of this is real. The unknowns looked fucking awesome. Like, that's my favorite Pokemon movie, but I'll be honest and say I haven't really watched any of them since. So, like, I remember Pokemon Forever existing, but I didn't watch it. Hold on a second, isn't there a spare? Yeah, right here. I remember that. I remember Destiny Deoxys being another one. I think there was like Mewtwo and Lucario, which I don't even get, but whatever. He's gonna use Hypnosis. Yep. I'm gonna do it one more time, and if it happens as a three-peat, I guess we're just gonna have to tough it out. Because I'm expecting a Dynamic Punch, but like, it doesn't matter, because if he hits me with a Dynamic Punch, it's still gonna hurt. But see, since I'm using the full heal, he's just gonna use Hypnosis and it's gonna work. Like that. That's the problem, is I'm literally self-sabotaging myself. Because he's gonna use Mind Eater right now. Or not. Whatever. He's just showing off now. I'm confused and asleep. Because, oh, no, there he goes. Can you hit him? Can you kill him? That's the real question right there. Sweet deal. Now imagine how much harder this would have been if if all of my guys were level 24 without, I mean, Gygas didn't get used, but without Xatu, for example. It would suck. It would suck. How about that? You're worthy the Storm Badge. All Pokemon level said to obey you in trades also lets you use the fly when you're not in battle. Here, take this too. Oh, that's Dynamic Punch. That's pretty much the only cool thing, I hate to say, about Generation TMs is what's crazy to me, because you have things like Dynamic Punch, which you can't ever teach elsewhere. So if you had something like that and you taught it to like your Poliwrath, and then you traded it to a newer game, it's like something that only you have, which I think is cool. That's what I was trying to say. Anyway, you talk to her. You cross the sea to get here. That must have been hard. It would have been much easier if your Pokemon knew how to fly. That's the Gym Badge. Then you should take this HM. Fly to your Pokemon, you will be able to fly instantly to anywhere you have visited. My husband lost you, so he needs to train harder. That's good, since he was getting a little chubby. So yeah, that's fan-diddly-tastic. Now we can fly all the way back to Olivine, give Jasmine her secret potion, knock her ass out, and then we can fly instantly to what do you call it? Place that we were at. Mahogany. That's the other thing that kind of sucks, is with me doing it this way, I was without fly for a huge amount of time, and then we didn't have strength for a while, but we still made do without strength. It was just a lot harder to manage without fly. But yeah, now we can, hold on a sec, where is Lita? We want to move him right there, so that's where the other guys can get some time to shine. I also probably shouldn't have, worked on Hot Shot, because he would be necessary for this upcoming area, but whatever. We'll see how it goes.